the ugly, the bad, the good, becoming a stronger me, where I'm transparent about my story, my struggles, and my healing journey. Hola and welcome to me, amigos, amigas, friends, family, my survivors, and new listeners. I am sorry, I am sorry, I am sorry. I have failed miserably at staying consistent with my podcast. I am not good at staying consistent. I will just have to put it out there, and I hope that that will help me hold myself accountable. So I am really sorry if there is anybody out there who is listening to when I post, updates on my website or my podcast. I don't even know where to start. I have so many great updates that I want to share with anybody who's listening. The last podcast I recorded was August of 2019. So shortly after that recording, I started a new job. I struggled with extreme anxiety working this new job, and it was really triggering my depression also. By the time I made the decision that I would find another job, COVID-19 was starting to become more known. So I was pretty anxious trying to quit a job during a time that people were losing, their jobs. However, since I've worked remotely from home for over 10 years, off and on, I had to trust that I would be able to find a job that is more flexible and less stressful. So I was very blessed to find a less stressful job and with way more flexibility that I need for myself. I think I've mentioned how important it has been my mission to make sure that I pay attention to what works for me as far as my mental health. And having a job that's flexible with scheduling is pretty high in my priority list. Now, I know this is not always possible for everyone, but for me, I make it a number one priority. And because I do have experience working from home, I do know which jobs are legit, and I'm comfortable working remotely from home and not having supervision and being able to log in and log out of my job and be accountable. So very blessed that I was able to find a job exactly what I was looking for. So now that most of that anxiety for me has leveled out, I can feel a big relief and even joy. It's like night and day for me. I've had so many blessings during this COVID epidemic. I did have a few weeks before I transitioned to my new job, and I had some me time. And I know with all of us pretty much isolating to stay safe, I wanted to be proactive in making sure I didn't go down the path of depression because isolation very easily can put you in a path of depression. So I was being very proactive in making sure that didn't happen. And for the most part, have been able to stay level, which is pretty amazing considering what we're all going through. And being that I struggle with depression and anxiety with PTSD from the trauma. So during this me time, I started to really ask myself what I wanted. What is my new goal? What makes me happy? And it's easy to just ask yourself and, not really do anything about it. When you ask yourself, you just think about it and that's pretty much it. But for me, I made it a mission to ask myself and to try to make things happen. And when I started to ask myself, what makes me happy? What's my goal? What do I want to do? I always go back to helping other survivors or anybody who struggles with mental health, PTSD, anxiety, depression. That's just at the core of my soul, my passion, because I've lived it and I still live with some struggles. I've come a long ways for sure, but I still have days. So I knew that I wasn't looking to become a therapist, but I knew that I wanted to help survivors. So I started to go on Google and research online, and somehow I came across peer support specialist. And when I read the definition, I was like, what? I was just like, wow. So let me read the definition of a a certified peer support specialist. A peer support specialist is a person with lived experience who has been trained to support those who struggle with mental health, psychological trauma, or substance use. Their personal experience of these challenges provide peer support specialists with expertise that professional training cannot replicate. When I read this, I was just like, wow, this is me. This is exactly the type of support I want to provide and be able to do this on a daily basis. It's not about money for me. It's about being able to help others with mental health and survivors. Because I myself am a survivor. I say that a lot because I truly believe that to my core. I have come a long ways. Even though I have my days, I can still be a survivor and struggle, and it's okay. So I am currently taking a course to become a peer support specialist, and I decided also that I would take my certification for victim advocacy. So I am just so happy. It's hard to even put into words how I feel, because I've never had this. I don't think I've ever had this much joy with regards to starting to understand who I am. I've struggled with that for so long. And I'm starting to see a glimpse of light at the end of the tunnel. I'm really starting to grow into who I am supposed to be, what I'm supposed to be doing, my passion, my purpose. It's all starting to fall into place. Even with my ups and downs. Like, I'm really starting to understand who I am, and it's just amazing. It's just wonderful. I don't know how to express how much joy I've had since the last, recording. So I just wanted to come on here and give this update and to just put it out there that if you just do the work, like I always say, you can make things happen. It takes a lot of work sometimes, and even alone doing it. But just never give up on yourself. Keep looking, keep digging, keep doing whatever it is you have to do to discover who you are, who you're meant to be, who you want to be. So I just wanted to update, and I definitely will try and make sure that I stay consistent, because I want to do that. I want to stay consistent. So until next time, I am sending you all positive vibes as always.